A threat within. I hope you strap your belt on tight, young priest, because there is work to be done here in Northshire, and I don't mean farming. The Stormwind Guards are hard-pressed to keep the peace here, with so many of us in distant lands and so many threats pressing close. And so we're enlisting the aid of anyone willing to defend their home and their alliance. If you're here to answer the call, then speak with my superior, Marshal McBride. He's inside the abbey behind me.
Have a good one.
Need help?
A threat within. Ah, good. Another volunteer. We're getting a lot of you these days. I hope it's enough. The human lands are threatened from without, and so many of our forces have been marshaled abroad. This, in turn, leaves room for corrupt and lawless groups to thrive within our borders. It is a many-fronted battle we wage, Athos. Gird yourself for a long campaign. Kobold Camp Cleanup. Your first task is one of cleansing, Athos. A clan of kobolds have infested the woods to the north. Go there and fight the kobold vermin you find. Reduce their numbers so that we may one day drive them from Northshire. Kill 10 kobold vermin.
With honor, friend.
Can do that. Alright, we have Smite, which is a 1.5 second cast. Smite an enemy for 13 to 17 holy damage, and then we also have Lesser Heal. Heals your target for 46 to 56. And over here, around the corner, Egan Peltskinner has a quest for us.
How are you?
Wolves across the border. I hate those nasty timber wolves, but I sure like eating wolf steaks. Bring me tough wolf meat and I will exchange it for something you'll find useful. Tough wolf meat is gathered from hunting the timber wolves and young wolves wandering the Northshire countryside. Bring 8 pieces of tough wolf meat to Egan. And then he's going to give us some loot.
Safe travels.
Basically at this point, as a priest, we are just going to be smiting things to death. Eventually we'll get a damage over time ability to augment that. One of my biggest motivations in playing a priest in Classic is just that it's going to be easier to get into dungeon content as a healer. So I'm really looking forward to that aspect of the playthrough. Being able to actually get into groups for the leveling dungeons as we progress through the levels. As a damage dealing class, even when there are groups going out for things, it's a little bit harder to secure yourself a spot. As a tank or a healer, it's a little bit easier. Let's drink up, we're out of mana. At this point, natural regen would probably be okay. We're gonna have to start doing some melee with our one-handed mace, because we'll need to level that up. We're eventually going to want to equip a wand in our range slot, but that's probably going to be 10 or so levels before we happen to come across a wand to equip. Let's use our mace, and let's get our mace skill up so we can consistently hit with it. And there's level 2. Not much changes there. We get a stat increase. We can go to our trainer anytime now and we can learn, I believe we can learn our next ability. And you'll always have abilities or new levels of abilities to train at your trainer every even level. Let's fight a few more of these guys.
Hello.
You've been busy. I can't wait to cook up that wolf meat. Let's take the fur-lined shoes. We are going to be wearing cloth as a priest.
See you around.
And we're eventually going to be looking for gear with intellect and spirit on it. We got a bag at some point, and I didn't even notice. Getting a bag early on a character is, to me, a really good sign. It's very helpful. It's going to give us more inventory slots, which means we can continue with a good habit of looting everything, and then coming back to the vendors and selling it.
What are you looking for?
Which we'll do right now. And we're just going to sell everything. We don't need any of it, besides what we've already equipped.
Light bless you.
Hello.
Just looking for some water. Just so we don't have any mana issues, we'll spend most of what we have right now on getting some more water for us.
You need something?
Brotherhood of Thieves. Recently, a new group of thieves has been hanging around Northshire. They call themselves the Defias Brotherhood, and have been seen across the river to the east. I don't know what they're up to, but I'm sure it's not good. Bring me the bandanas they wear, and I'll reward you with a weapon. Alright, 12 red burlap bandanas. Let's go finish off the kobolds over here first. We should be tracking some of our quests. We can shift click and turn on our objectives. I personally like to play with the nameplate health bars turned off. I think it reduces clutter and lets you get a little bit more immersed. I do keep the names on so we can see from a distance what mobs we're working with. We need vermin for right now. Probably just club them for the last couple HP. Eventually we'll get Power Word Shield, which will basically absorb physical damage. So when they run up and hit us like that, even as a caster, it won't be as big of a deal because we'll be able to mitigate it. Some of you who are more familiar with the WoW Classic probably are saying to yourselves, why didn't he roll a Dwarven Priest? Their racial is better for being a priest. That's usually just not how I decide things in video games, unfortunately. There is a way to, you know, min-max the whole game and make the best possible choices. It's easy to look that stuff up online. A Dwarven Priest would be better when you're talking about just having a better racial to augment the priest's healing. But we went with a human. That's what I was feeling at the time. One more, let's get a little bit of mana back. We can burn them down pretty quickly. Smite is a very short cast time. But to do that, we just need mana. when we type /who like that, we can get a list of everybody who's currently logged in on this server in this zone around our level range. And if we wanted to, we could even expand the level range to see if there's any high levels hanging out. In this case, there are, so quite a few people here in Northshire Abbey.
Well met.
Well done. Those kobolds are thieves and cowards, but in large numbers they pose a threat to us, and the humans of Stormwind do not need another threat. For defeating them, you have my gratitude, and 25 copper. We have the haloed letter, which will be to introduce us to our class trainer. I was asked to bring this to your attention as soon as you return from the kobold camps, Athos. It appears to be a letter sealed with the insignia of Priestess Annetta, our local priest trainer. I wouldn't hesitate to read it before you go about any other business here in the Abbey.
Be careful.
We'll do that, and then he also has Investigate Echo Ridge. My scouts tell me that the kobold infestation is larger than we had thought. A group of kobold workers has camped near the Echo Ridge mine to the north. Go to the mine and remove them. We know there are at least 10. Kill them, see if there are more. Report back to me.
For the Alliance.
Same area that we fought the others in, just we're looking for workers now instead of vermin.
Greetings.
At last you've come. I knew you would find your way to me. The holy light shines upon you, and the path you've chosen. These times are harsh. The Burning Legion still has a presence upon Azeroth. The entirety of Kalimdor seeks new ways to defend itself from its own tribulations, and it is up to you to aid as many as you can. As you grow in experience, return to me and I will do what I can to impart my knowledge upon you. Until then, go with compassion in your heart, and let wisdom be your guide. Remember, the world only becomes a better place if you make it so.
Safe travel.
Well, thanks for the pep talk, priest trainer. We appreciate that.
King's honor, friend.
Let's go ahead. Oh, we get Power Word Fortitude. That is going to be a buff to our stamina. Power infuses the target, increasing their stamina by 3 for 30 minutes. And stamina is going to be giving us more health. There we go. See, our health went up. Oh, already got it down there. Alright, let's head back out. Well, eventually we'll remember how to get out. It's fine, it's right here. Alright, we're gonna go back this way first, and we'll do the workers, and then we'll head over and fight the Syndicate across the river. And the workers are wearing blue shirts. Probably the only visual difference. They may also be a level or so higher than the average vermin. Want to make sure that we keep our mace skill at least maxed out for our level. The cap on the skill will go up every time we gain a character level. So it'll be something that we have to keep working on. Eventually we'll have a wand and it won't be important as much whether we can hit with our mace or not. But for right now, it's a way to conserve mana, just doing some hits with our mace. As opposed to smite on these guys when they're such a lower level and they only have a couple HP left. And they're not dealing a lot of damage to us, so it's okay for them to hit us a little bit if it means conserving some mana. So we can keep our mana going, we can keep clearing without having to stop and drink water. That's gonna speed us along. And by getting hit, we're also increasing our natural defense skill, which is important as well. Probably stand to turn the music up a little bit. It's only in big cities, in the major cities like Stormwind, that the music gets a little bit loud. Otherwise, it's typically enjoyable but very subtle. I don't think we actually have to go into the mine if we can get them all out here that we need, which I'm sure we can. The great thing about it being such a short cast is even though we have to spam it over and over again, it gives them less of a chance to interrupt us continuously. When you have longer cast bars and you're getting hit, it will actually keep pushing your cast bar back, which is going to just prolong how long it takes to get the spell off. Smite being such a quick cast, it's not as impactful when we're getting hit. Probably be a good idea to sell everything we have, including all the shields we've amassed, before we head out and invest and take out the Defias Brotherhood and steal their bandanas.
Light be with you.
4 armor compared to 2 armor, we'll wear it. It's an armor upgrade. Same thing here. In the very beginning, sometimes even those gray items are going to be an upgrade for what you have equipped.
Be careful. King's honor, friend.
I don't like hearing of all those kobolds in our mine. No good can come of this. Here, take this as payment, and when you're ready, speak to me again. I would like you to go back to the mines one more time. Your previous investigations are proof that the Echo Ridge mine needs purging. Return to the mine and help clear it of kobolds. Waste no time. The longer the kobolds are left unmolested in the mine, the deeper a foothold they gain in Northshire. Kill 12 laborers, so we do now have to go into
Light bless you.
into the mine. We'll actually do that first. And I think that'll be the last thing we have to do to the north, and then we'll be able to head across the river and work on that side. Maybe we might even get another quest around that area by that time. And we'll be level 4, so we'll have gotten our next ability. Just fight a few workers along the way. At low levels like this, it's never a bad idea to fight some creatures that are at level while you're making your way, because you'll get quite a bit of experience early on relative to how much it takes to gain a level. Later on, it would be kind of painful just to grind out experience by fighting. But early on, as you can see, we got almost a bubble from fighting someone who was exactly our level. Now that won't be consistent throughout any of the rest of the game. So it's worth taking advantage of early on. Even though you don't have a lot of abilities and combat is a little bit slow because of that. And obviously we're not dealing with very difficult creatures, but it's just worth it to take the time and do that. And you're picking up loot.
I'm out of the
And picking up and selling the loot is going to be very important. To get a mount in this game, you have to level to character level 40, and you have to have somewhere in the range of 100 110 gold. It's pretty expensive between training the skill to ride and then actually purchasing a mount. You're looking at 100 110 gold or so. Not enough mana, that's why we brought a mace. Alright, let's head into the mine. And we're looking for laborers, even though we're not tracking the quest, like we should be. Obviously, a person or group of people have already been through here.
I need a target.
And in these areas, it's kind of easy just to run in. They're not aggressive, so even if they respawn behind you, you're not in any actual danger. Later on in the game, when they're aggressive monsters and they've been cleared and they respawn behind you, that can pose a lot of problems. When they respawn without you noticing and kind of attack you in the back. Early on, we don't have to worry. And there's level 4. We could run back. There's an argument to be had for just going back and training our ability and then heading back out. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Normally I would just finish clearing here, but it's so close anyway, and we have our Hearthstone, which is going to take us right back here, that we might as well go back and pick up our next skill. It's going to be our damage over time ability, Shadow Word Pain, if I'm not mistaken.
You need something?
Okay, so we can get Lesser Heal and Shadow Word Pain. Let's, well, we're going to hold off on that because we need to sell some things. You can see that our skills have a cost, and they're actually pretty expensive.
Light bless you.
And that's just an upgrade to our Lesser Heal. It would make it heal for more. We don't really need that yet, so it's not a terrible thing that we let that sit there. We do have our new damaging ability, which should be very impactful, help us out quite a bit. So probably what we would do is we'll open up with Smite and then Shadow Word Pain. A word of darkness that causes 30 shadow damage over 18 seconds. So it ticks on the target over the course of 18 seconds. So we're going to open with our castable, we're going to quickly cast Shadow Word Pain, and then we'll go back to casting Smite. And now it's even easier just to cast maybe 1 or 2 smites and let the Shadow Word Pain and our melee swing, or later on our wand, deal the rest of the damage to finish off the enemy. Let's grab something with a little bit of a higher level here, like the Worker ahead. And then we'll let Shadow Word Pain and our melee swing. So the numbers that you see popping up here in yellow, that's Shadow Word Pain. The white number is our melee attack. As you can see, it does not a ton of damage on its own, but when paired with just a melee swing, then you can wear them down just like that without wasting really any mana at all, at least at this level. And as a caster, it's really worth getting into that mindset early on of conserving your mana and finding a way to move smoothly from one monster to the next without having to stop all the time to drink. Like, I think maybe for us right now, 2 smites and Shadow Word Pain with melee attacks is probably the ticket to keep our mana basically at full. As enemies get stronger and our mana pool gets larger and we get more abilities, that rotation of abilities will change. See the respawn? If they had been aggressive, he would have been attacking us immediately. So we're lucky that we're in a non-aggressive area. Just, it's serving the purpose of letting new players acclimate to the mechanics of the game without the added duress of angry monsters attacking you when you're not ready, basically. And because of that, it allows them to put a lot of creatures in the starting area, and that has the effect of making the world seem more vibrant and alive. If these were all aggressive and this was a starting area, you couldn't have this kind of mob density, because obviously your new players, your level 1 and 2 players would be running out there and, well, they'd be getting killed pretty easily by groups like this if they were aggressive, or if they had social aggro or could call for help, you know. Let's throw a heal on ourselves, and we'll keep going. And we just need one more. See, if we cast 4 or 5 smites, we will run through our mana, even at this low level, so something to be mindful of. Basically on any class that has mana, get used to finding ways to conserve said mana, while still making, you know, steady progress through whatever area you're clearing for the quest you're working on.
What can I do for you?
We'll take the Outfitter gloves, 6 armor. Make sure we put those bad boys on immediately. There we go, we have gloves now. Now we need a belt, a neck, a headpiece, and some shoulders. 2 of them we won't get for a while. Should get a belt pretty soon. We have a mail belt that we can't equip because we can only equip cloth. Report to Goldshire. I think we have more to do here, but let's see. You are a priest with proven interest in the security of Northshire. You are now tasked with the protection of the surrounding elven forest. If you accept this duty, then I have prepared papers that must be delivered to Marshal Dugan in Goldshire. Goldshire lies along the southern road, past the border gates. Take Marshal McBride's documents to Marshal Dugan. We don't have a choice. We certainly want to join the Alliance and protect Stormwind and all the human, dwarven, night elf, and gnome lands. That's why we're here. Let's sell everything we don't need.
What can I do for you?
Do we have... No, we don't. We don't have bracers on. Let's fix that.
Go with honor, friend.
And let's go learn our second rank of Lesser Heal, which we didn't have the silver before. We have 1 silver and 77 copper. It's not a lot, but it is enough.
Well met.
And we actually have to go into our spell book, go to our holy section, find that rank, and we have to replace it on our bar. As you can see, it heals for about, on average, what, 20 more damage to 30 more, or heals 30 more heal than the other rank. So let's make sure we get that on our bar. It's kind of different in retail when you get a spell. You don't have to worry about different ranks of it. You certainly don't have to worry about making sure that they go onto your hotbar. But when you get a new rank in Classic, go into your spellbook and make sure that you actually have that as your active button press. Otherwise, you'll be using an older rank and you won't know why. Either the enemies aren't dying fast enough, or your heals are not outputting enough to save your group mates, etc. Alright, now we need to go deal with the Defias Brotherhood.